Welcome back, everybody. Holy cow, has it been a week or what? It's been a crazy week this week with lots and lots of stuff going on. And holy cow, rushing again, as always, at the last minute. But why not? Why not? We'll get right into it and see what the chat is doing. Why don't we bring that chat on in here? Welcome, everyone. Oh, it's been a audio echo. We've got an audio echo. I'm not hearing an audio echo. Let's see if everybody else is good. We fine? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. How are you feeling, Clyde? I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better. I almost couldn't make it through my video this morning. And holy cow, you might hear it's a little bit hoarse in my voice right now. Came down with a cold. So no wobbly pops tonight. I got some ginger tea going on in here. And I got some other stuff with some stuff for hydration. We're gonna stay hydrated tonight. That's the thing. Intro volume was low. I wonder why that is, because it was really loud on my end. I'm still getting used to this StreamYard program for live streaming. If I have guests on, I have to use this, unfortunately. But if I don't have guests, then I just go with my usual software. But we have some great guests tonight to talk about some of the things that are happening here in Canada. Namely, you guys know him, Alex Zoltan. He'll be on later in the show. And you guys may have saw earlier this week, I had a interview with Rudy from RuddyCast. He's a Spanish YouTuber, Canadian from Venezuela originally, and he talks a lot about Venezuelan issues from the safety of Canada, relative safety for now, as if Canada is not going in the same direction. But we'll be having him on later tonight. He's in the chat right now, so everybody say hey to Rudy in the chat. I'm here to bring Latino flavor. I love it. Let's have some more of that. As well as Lady Trucker with a $10 super chat saying, tell me you're kidding regarding Mar-a-Lago. No, I'm not. This is some news. This is breaking. Just like just before going live, just before I was just about to make a thumbnail, and I'm like, okay, what are the things that we're going to be talking about tonight? Because the plan is talk about immigration, border security, all the things that are causing Trump to want to put a 25% tariff on all Canadian goods leaving the country. Yeah, that's right. That's a threat that he's given. And the caveat to that threat is, well, you got to clean up your border. You got to fix your border. So Trudeau, I guess he's gone down there. It's unbelievable. You can't even make this stuff up anymore. It's crazy. I actually found this out through a follower of the channel and someone I've chatted with many times in the Discord, by the way. Link is in the description down below if you want to join the Discord. The link is only available during the live streams. We're keeping a tight ship on the Discord because there's been so much trolling and bots and all kinds of other stuff. So if you're a Discord user and you want to join the Discord because you want to enjoy the communities that are there and the community that we have, come on in. The link is in the description down below. And if we have any mods coming in, I'm sure they'll put links in the chat. But I got to figure out the sharing thing here. Hold on. We got to do this. Here we go. Screen sharing was canceled. What are you talking about? Screen sharing was canceled. No, I want to get up on this. Bam. Here we go. There we go. This is Olia, who incidentally lived in Canada and became one of the leaky bucket, as we heard about recently. So she says, and the leak, if she doesn't get what I'm talking about, or anybody doesn't get what I'm talking about, the leaky bucket report is the report in Canada every year that we talk about immigrants that come to Canada, but then end up saying, see you later. No, ain't sticking around. She's one of those. Talented young lady, and she's no longer in Canada because of the way things have been going. She says, hey, Clyde, do something. Why is Beta Trudeau in Mar-a-Lago? Breaking. Canada's PM Justin Trudeau arrives in West Palm Beach, Florida to meet President-elect Trump at Mar-a-Lago. We're going to get into this. We're gonna get into that. Just give me a moment here. Let's get the chat back in here. Come on in, chat. Come on in. But this is going to be an interesting stream to say the least. Holy cow! I mean, I can't help but giggle at this news that Trudeau is down there trying to talk with Trump. It's funny because this is just after just this past week, Kevin O'Leary went on TV to say Trump shouldn't even deal with Trudeau. Let me get to this clip because this is just too funny. Trump shouldn't even deal with Trudeau. It's you might as well just go right to Pierre Poilievre. Why not? Because who cares about this incumbent idiot that's in the office? Let me pop this one up.
Challenge with the Canadian situation is different than the Mexican. Trudeau is a really unpopular leader, and in the parliamentary system, he'll be getting whacked soon. It's the end game in the parliamentary system is so brutal. Look what happened in England just recently. It's about to happen to him. So that Trump will not be negotiating with Trudeau. He'll be dealing with a guy named Pierre Poilievre who will get majority mandate. I think Trump should invite him down to Mar-a-Lago now. I don't know what the protocol and all that is, but he'll be dealing with Pierre. He might as well.
He's much more ideologically aligned with Trump.
Well, here's what Poilievre has already said. I'm going to lift the ban on pipelines. I'm going to kill the carbon tax to be competitive with Texas, and I'm going to open all kinds of investment in Canada. That's Trump's kind of guy. So I know he talked to Trudeau last night, but Trudeau is checking out of Dodge.
Checking out of Dodge, and we should help him out. We should definitely help him out. A lot of people obviously wanting to help him out, saying, let's go. How about an election? It came down to it just recently in the House of Parliament. I know it's Poilievre, but I even got it wrong at first. Everyone had to point that one out to me that it's Poilievre, not what did he say? Poilievre. I don't know what he said. But yeah, it's Poilievre. Anyway, O'Leary's still paying off his leadership. What does that mean? Trudeau should have brought Pierre Poilievre with him. The meeting would hold on. Let's pop this up. Mark Nixon, awesome, hanging out in the chat. Mark Nixon, fellow content creator. You got to go check him out. I gotta do a shout out. Sorry, Mark. I mean, not sorry. Mark has been on the channel. We've hung out, and I'm a big fan actually of Mark's stuff. I'm just gonna pop this on here. Mark Nixon. Share this instead. You got to make sure that you get yourself over onto X and also YouTube. Here on YouTube, Mark Nixon. I think it would just be youtube.com/Mark Nixon. Get over, give a follow on X, give a follow on Instagram, give a follow on TikTok, wherever you are, wherever the services that you use, go give him a follow. He's on all of them. Great channel. Can't say enough good stuff about him. But what does he say? It says Trudeau should have brought Pierre Poilievre with him. The meeting would have been more successful. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with that more. There's no point. What is the point of Trudeau going down? Trudeau is just only going to double down on his ideas. I guess he's trying to convince him to not go with the 25% tariffs on Canada if Trudeau doesn't comply with the demands. I mean, here's the thing. And got into this question before, and as a libertarian, people always say, Clyde, how could you possibly be okay with tariffs? That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. I'm not okay with tariffs. I'm actually not okay with tariffs. I don't think tariffs are a good idea as a protectionist mechanism, that kind of thing. I don't agree with tariffs at all. In fact, we should be lifting all of our tariffs. Namely the milk and dairy and eggs tariffs that we have in Canada. We have embargoes. We have crazy embargoes in this country. Why is it that we do this? We shouldn't be doing this. But this is a tactic. Tariffs can also be used as a tactic to say, I don't like what you're doing. It's causing us problems. So we're going to put an economic sanction on you so that you can fix your problem. And then we'll lift the sanction. It's at the end of the day, the United States has tremendous power because they have the largest economy in the world, and they're our biggest trading partner for obvious reasons, right? Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It's doing the taxpayer a favor in Canada. It's doing everybody a favor. Trudeau's the only one. Trudeau and the Liberals and the NDP evidently are the only ones that are really, we should ban tariffs, LOL, from Canada. It can be used as a good tool, as an economic sanction. I don't agree with it for protectionism. I don't buy into that theory whatsoever. Again, so this is against not just Canada, but Mexico, but both sides are guilty of all of this stuff. It's really ridiculous how it's been turning out. Now, like in Canada, it's just off the chains. But let's get into some of the economic stuff that's happening, because I want to talk about it. Well, before we do that, we got to see this scene, because this was Trump just before he was elected. He put this out there. Why is it not sharing again? I gotta figure this stuff out. We gotta get this on board. So this is Trump just before being elected.
Other things. That is why, as soon as I take the oath of office, we will begin the largest deportation operation in the history of our country, even larger than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Many other things. That is why.
Now, the crazy part about this is just the reaction to it. I'm dumbfounded by the reaction to it. There's so many people that are like, this is, for one, calling it racist is just it's absurd. They're not going to be rounding up particular races. No, they're rounding up people who don't have legal authority to be in the country. They don't have a visa. They don't have immigration status. They've overstayed their welcome. They've snuck through the border. They came in on a visitor visa and then stayed. They came on a working visa and stayed. They lied about what their status was and were able to enter. This is the thing. This is the reality of the situation. Is he's coming in and he's saying, no, we're not targeting lawful citizens. Why would you can't target lawful citizens. And we're not targeting any particular races or particular anything, just targeting people who have broken the law and are in the country illegally. That's really what it comes down to it. That's a dumbfounding super chat. Eric Westerheim with a NOK. I don't know what NOK 200. Some other currency. Glad to catch you live. I'm praying for Canada. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I don't even know how to economize what that super chat is worth, but I appreciate it nonetheless so much. Thank you so much. That's great. Appreciate that. NOK. Does anyone know what NOK is? Let me know in the chat so I don't have to go look it up. Very generous, Eric. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. That's gonna be the Canadian dollar, by the way, pretty soon. You're gonna see numbers and you're gonna go, what is that really worth? What is that worth in pesos? What is that worth in American dollars? Because that's the problem that we're running into. We're running into a falling dollar because they're inflating our currency away. They're inflating it with vote buying at the moment. This is it's crazy. It's crazy, this whole concept. The great Canadian peso. Yes. That's where we're going. That's where we're going with it. It's the Norwegian krone. Oh, okay. Awesome. All the way from Norway. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. 11.11 USD. That's like $50 Canadian. Wow. So generous. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's amazing. Oh, it's about 15 bucks. I was saying $50. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, but very generous. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It cracks me up. So yeah, this is where was I? Crazy world we're living in right now, where we're in the toilet bowl at the moment. We're in the toilet bowl with Trudeau as he's spiraling down because he wants to bring us with him. He's not the guy who goes down with his ship and lets everybody else get on the lifeboats. No. Everybody's coming down with him, and that's really what he's set it up for right now. Like 20 Canadian dollars. Oh, okay. Thank you. Good evening, Clyde. Good evening, June. Now, what is this? Great Canadian Peso is coming to a city near you, folks. I've been saying it since 2016, 2012. 10-pound bag of potatoes, 99 cents. 2019, 10-pound bag of potatoes, $1.99. 2024, 10-pound bag of potatoes, $5.99. Yeah, it's not that the potatoes are worth any more. It's just our dollar is worth less. Literally worth less, not worthless, not yet. That's where we are. And this inflation is a tax. It is a tax, and people need to realize this. And until we have like good economic education out there, people are just going to accept this tax as if it doesn't exist. We're already being taxed like crazy, but every time the government spends money, it's coming out of your savings account. It comes out of your savings account because it dilutes the value of every dollar in circulation. So every dollar that you have in savings, gone. See you later. Well, not gone entirely, just a lot of the value of it is gone. So when Justin Trudeau comes out and says, oh, we're going to give you $250 and we're going to give you a tax break. Well, to give that $250, they have to print it. And in order to print it right now, because we don't have any surplus, they have to borrow money. And then we're going to borrow money and we're going to pay it back at interest to pay for this $250. What was it? Carla Treadway, she did the math. It works out to everybody's going to pay $322 to get your $250. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You got Granite Man with a $2 super chat, groveling Trudeau. Hope Trump smacks him around. That's what we're hoping for. That would be something else. Holy cow. Of course, we've heard it from Trump saying the guy's two-faced. You know, he'll say one thing to your face. He'll go to the media. He'll say something else immediately after. Neil from the Hill. I know that name. Welcome back, my man. $5 super chat. Trump will have Trudeau call an election watch before Christmas. Do you think? I'd love to see that happen. I've been saying Trudeau's in it for the long haul, but I don't know. This is going to be a tough one. This is a really, really tough one because he's in a really tough spot right now. He's in a crazy tough spot because what do you do? Like, he wants to keep this crazy open borders thing going for a long time. Now I'm going to do a video about this on Monday. But should we pop it up? Should I pop it up? I got to find it again. Holy cow. Yeah, I was going to do a video on this on Monday, but you guys are my diehards. I got to get you some limited access stuff here. Stuff I'm working on anyway. Stuff I'm looking into. Pop this up on the screen. Oh, why did you go to that screen? Go over to this screen. Go over here. That's where I want you. Yeah, Trudeau is super into this open borders junk. So much so that he's willing to sacrifice pretty well everything for it. This is from Ghost Media. He's been giving me some pretty good information lately. Shout out to Ghost Media. Go give Ghost Media 1515 a follow over on X. But this is Justin Trudeau talking about his love for open borders and support for the turismo. I don't know how to say it without saying the word. Within Canada, not planning on deporting anybody. This is from some time ago.
Since 1947, when the Mackenzie King government passed our first Citizenship Act, there was a promise to new Canadians that they could be full citizens, and it's been taken away in this. The idea of actually removing citizens and deporting somebody who might have been born here but happens to hold dual citizenship is absolutely disgusting.
Yep.
Oh, what are
Thank
your
you.
views on it?
Yes, yes. C-24, it's the bill that for
Now, mind you, this is before Omar Khadr, and yeah, he followed through on this stuff. Just have a listen. Neil from the Hill also with another $2 super chat saying Trump has the Epstein list and Justin is on it. Well, we don't know that. We don't know that, but we all got our suspicions, right?
for me exemplifies the conservatives' approach to politics. Because what they get to say with the Liberal Party's staunch opposition to C-24, because we absolutely and thoroughly oppose it, is that, and I'll give you the quote, so you guys can jot it down and put it in a attack ad somewhere. That,
Get it in there. Oh, here it is. It's right now.
The Liberal Party believes that terrorists should get to keep their Canadian citizenship. Because I do.
Wow.
And I'm willing to take on anyone who disagrees with that.
Donald Trump? No, I don't know. You're going to take on Donald Trump? You're going to take on the voter now that they're realizing that you said this?
Because the question is, as soon as you make citizenship for some Canadians conditional on good behavior, you devalue citizenship for everyone. A Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian. I mean, personally, I'm envious of new Canadians because I have no merit in being Canadian. It was an accident of birth. I got to be born here, and that's just what I am. New Canadians got to choose Canada.
That's right. And if they chose Canada and it was actually for dubious purposes, we should be able to remove that choice from their roster of choices. This is the idea. It's unbelievable. Yeah, no, if you choose here and we find out that no, you actually don't align with the society or everything that the citizenship stands for, we can revoke it. That's right. This should always be a choice of the country that has taken on people. If you turn out to be a turismo, see you later. See you later. And probably not see you later, because we're probably going to detain you, hold you as an enemy combatant, not a citizen in the country.
You got to choose to come to this country, or your parents chose to come to this country. And that's a very powerful statement. And the idea that we would say that we'll give you your citizenship, but for the rest of your life, you have to be on your best behavior. Now, we can say, best behavior, fine. You get a traffic ticket, we're not going to deport you. But that principle.
No, you get a traffic ticket, you pay a fine. You get a I gotta stop sharing this screen. You get a traffic ticket, you pay a fine. You commit the bad thing that makes people not alive anymore. You go to jail. Whether you're a new citizen or whatever. You do something that is directly an act of treason by committing an act of terror. You are now an enemy combatant of the state. You're no longer seen in the same way. And we shouldn't be able to view you that same way. If you're born here and you become turismo, then yeah, there are ways we can deal with you. You're an enemy combatant from within. Absolutely. There are ways we can deal with you. But if you came from somewhere else with ill will, no thanks. We are not going to let that fly. No way. No, sir. Just me, Nicole, with a $5 super chat says, did you catch MP Chad Collins' interview with CTV? Up on YouTube a couple of hours ago, the MP that spoke against Trudeau on the $250. No. Let me look that up. Is it I bet you it's on X. It's going to be on X somewhere, because that's usually how that works. It's X is the first place to get anything, really, at the end of the day. Let's look this up. Chad. He's got to be a Chad Collins. What is he saying? Is it an interview recently? Well, it's not popping up right away. Let's try YouTube. Let's try it. Let's try it out. Oh, wow. First thing up. Okay, let's get into this. All right. Let's have at her. Thank you, Just Me Nicole, for the heads up on that one. Let's check this one out. I'm gonna view this. Yeah, we're viewing this tab. Let's get into it. Let's have a look. What do I do to pop this up? There we go.
The federal government has pledged to send $250 rebates to working Canadians, but a local Liberal MP doesn't agree with it. Chad Collins, who represents Hamilton East Stony Creek, says he was threatened with consequences from his own Liberal Party for voicing his opposition. Sean Cowan spoke with him today.
Wait. Wasn't this something that Trudeau was saying that Pierre was doing? Hold on. Before we get into this, okay, we'll listen to this, but I'm going to look that up at the same time.
MP Chad Collins says he's not on board with the tax rebate his Liberal government is proposing. The Trudeau government wants to send $250 to every Canadian who worked in 2023 and earned less than $150,000.
I certainly understand the concept, but
except retirees, except there's a bunch of exceptions, except retirees, except people who aren't working right now, except people who are on disability, people who are on leave, all of those things you won't be eligible. That's the people who need it the most. You got to be kidding me. That's just unbelievable that's the way they're playing this game. No way.
it excluded seniors and persons with disabilities. And if there's a population within our city and within our country that needs support from an affordability perspective, it's certainly those two groups.
Collins made it clear to his party that he doesn't support the bill, but he says that led to a private meeting on Monday between him and somebody from the Liberal government.
And was told quite clearly that if I voted against the measure, that there would be consequences.
Well, he says he wasn't told what the specific consequences could be. We asked him if he's worried about being kicked out of the party.
Probably could, yeah. They could probably kick me out of the party or force me to sit as an independent. I guess, I understand that could be a consequence. And I think if faced with the decision of either voting with the government or the prime minister and or with my constituents, it's an easy decision.
Political science professor Peter Grafe says this is not uncommon for MPs to do when their leader is declining in popularity.
Oh, you see members of the government freelance like this.
They're really going, oh, Dr. Robotnik here is going hard. Holy, what a tash, man. Wow, that takes some effort. Going hard here. They're going hard on Trudeau. What happened? I guess they're hoping that their funding keeps coming. Oh no, sorry. This is CHCH News. Never mind. This isn't some this isn't some shill. Perhaps it is. I don't know. Next for Cup with the $5 super chat says, isn't it interesting that right after that came out, they removed the $250? Now Trudeau can say, oh, yes, I listened to my members. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, the $250 didn't end up in that bill, which is hilarious. Hilarious. I mean, it's ridiculous what they're doing. It's great that they're not going to inflate the currency like that with the $250. But the GST, I mean, we could get into it. The GST is not going to be a saver. It's going to cost a lot of money. Linda Hunter with gifting 1 membership to the channel. Thank you so much, Linda. Really appreciate that. Let's get so this is the word that's coming from that. At the same time, I love this liberal hypocrisy, the liberal hive mind, if you would. They're coming out with ads like this right here. This is an ad against Pierre Poilievre. This is just too good. This is way too good. Where it's in French, but the subtitles are on the screen. So if you're looking away, look away. Look here now.
Qu'est-ce que vous dites aux députés conservateurs qui n'aiment pas votre contrôle sur le caucus?
Comme qui?
So isn't it true that you've taken control over the caucus and it pops up? Everybody's being watched. What we say, what we do, what we talk, who we talk to. We're not told to fraternize with other MPs for other parties, and that's not normal. A conservative party source. This is the way it goes. Several conservatives have said that they're speaking out against you. And he's just saying, who? The leader comes first. Do not undercut him. Conservative party source. Sources. This is like, I made it up.
Ben, ils se sont confiés sous le couvert de l'anonymat parce qu'ils ont peur des représailles, M. Poilievre.
You're afraid of retaliation.
Vous pensez qu'ils nous ont menti?
Non, c'est pas eux qui mentent.
She says, did they lie? No, they're not the ones lying.
Mais pourquoi est-ce que vous avez dit vous ne croyez pas? Qu'est-ce que vous voulez dire?
What did you mean? Hey, look at all these things we made up. Because it all just said a conservative source. What? Unfortunately, right now, we have a liberal source who's outed himself. And he's come out and said it. Oh, I love this. That's so funny. We get back to, where's Dr. Robotnik there? Where were we?
After years of success in Hamilton municipal politics, thought he might be in cabinet. The thought that he might lose, within 4 years of being elected is scary to him. And so he figures if he's going to get reelected, it has to be having his own profile independent of that of the Liberal government.
We reached out to the Liberal Party, but have yet to hear back. But yesterday, Trudeau said
that Liberal MPs are free to speak their minds and voice their opinions, even when we have disagreements. That was astonishing to the members of the Conservative Party because they're not allowed to do that.
The member from Hamilton East Stony Creek says that he was threatened with, quote, consequences if he voted against it.
Voting on the bill is not expected to take place until early in the new year.
What's funny? It was Karl Marx, I think, that said this. He said, accuse the other side of that which you are doing now as to create confusion surrounding the whole situation. So this is what they're doing. They're absolutely accusing the conservatives of this with conservative source, whatever. And then it turns out that's actually what they're doing. They're doing it. Absolutely. 18 cons wanted accelerator. What is the accelerator? Oh, the housing accelerator? Exactly. Yes. Trump will squash him like a cricket. No, let's get into that. I'm jumping the gun. I'm kind of all over the place here tonight, but whatever. It's a live stream. This is the way we kind of do things. But this is okay. So this is the reason. This is the crux of why this is even happening right now. Is what Trump is doing. He's putting this out there, and he says, no, we're not putting up with this anymore. Line in the sand. Canada, Mexico, get your stuff together. Here we go, Mario Newfall. Trump says we need military action to stop. I'm not saying it out loud. The bad stuff. The bad stuff with the F word. You get anywhere near it, knock you out, probably permanently. You're doing great, Clyde. Thank you, Margaret. Appreciate that. It's a Marxist strategy. That's right, Tracy. Let's get into this. So we need a military operation to stop what's happening with that stuff. These cartels are rich, powerful, and evil, killing over 300,000 people a year, more than any war. The F word is coming from China and it's pouring through the border, and we're going to stop it, even if it means military action. This isn't a small war. And we're losing more Americans to drugs than we did in the Civil War. We won't stand for it any longer. Here's the clip.
We have seen the Mexican cartel and we have seen smugglers targeting American law enforcement with weapons and with their tactics right now. For example, I just reported on 4 RPGs and 8 IEDs found in a Mexican scout site on the other side of the border in the Tucson sector. And then today we're talking about the Mexican cartels using drone jammers to intercept our drone capabilities and our surveillance technology. So how do you counter that? How do you keep American law enforcement safe and our border patrol safe? And how do you keep the weapons out of the hands of the cartel?
We need a military operation. What's happening, what you're just telling me, we need a military operation. These people have become military. They're very rich. They have a lot of money. They're among the richest people probably in the world. They're very rich and they're very evil. And people are dying at levels that nobody's ever seen from fentanyl poisoning. And it comes through the border, comes from China and through the border. And we're going to get it stopped. We're going to have to get in some military action. And we're going to take, if we need military, look, they're killing 300,000 people a year. I think it's more than that. You know, they always say 100, 102. It's over 300,000 people are being killed from fentanyl and drugs that come over the border. We're going to do something about it. That's like having a big war. That's not like having a little war. You go to war, you don't lose that many people. In the Civil War, we lost 600,000 people. We're losing 300,000 people a year. We're not going to stand for it.
No. Don't stand for it, Trump. Don't stand for it. And in fact, we shouldn't be standing for how it's filtering down from here in Canada, of all places. It's absolutely ridiculous. British Columbia is a hotbed for this stuff. It's a real hotbed, and it's scary. It's scary. Here's Kushal Mehra. I've had him on the show before. He's from India, and you've heard of like snowbirds, right? People who live in Canada and then they go down to America for the winter, maybe Arizona, Florida, that kind of thing. He's a snowbird, but from India. And so he lives in Canada, and then he goes to India. He flies back home to India in the winter months, because we all know why. I don't have to explain it to you. We all know. That's the way it goes. But hey, let's get into this clip, because this stuff is, it's crazy. It really is crazy to me that this stuff is actually happening here in Canada.
So what the Khalistanis started doing from the 80s onwards is, initially they would rely on money from Pakistan. Today, Pakistan doesn't fund them. In fact, I think they are funding Pakistan now, because it's such a well-funded organization. They have drugs, they have everything under their rubric now.
By the way, he's talking to an Indian podcaster in India, and he's explaining the situation in Canada because he lives here part-time, right? He lives here half the year. So he's explaining just how nuts it is.
So-called legitimate veneer of a freedom struggle. They're doing all sorts of dirty things. Like, you must have seen that wo Randhawa banda jo abhi pakda gaya hai, one of the biggest drug busts in the history of Canada. Hashtag Kaum de Heere. Hamari Kaum ka naam
It's a sophisticated drug super lab which has about 95
British Columbia mein
9.5 crore potentially lethal doses of fentanyl. October 25 को drug bust हुआ, Surrey में हुआ है, and Royal Canadian Mount. Wow, it's just they also had small explosive devices, large amounts of ammunition, firearm silencers, high capacity magazines, body armor, 500,000 in cash. That's insane, man.
अरे भाई ये छोड़, ये पील पुलिस में Brampton में, ठीक है?
Okay, now he goes into Indian, and I don't understand it. And yeah, if you don't understand, sorry, if you don't understand the accents, I apologize. Oh, I mean, I don't apologize. It just is what it is. But yeah, they go into Indian after this, but it's insane. He's just explaining how crazy it is. We have these, and these are imported gangs. These aren't homegrown. These are people who are coming over with all of the immigration process that's been happening because of Trudeau. And of course, not all immigrants are bad people. We're going to get into that because we need immigration. We need immigration for a myriad of different reasons. But in the process, we need a vetting system. We can't just open the doors to whomever. That's just crazy. And well, people have been taking advantage of that. Absolutely taking advantage of that, and taking advantage of the situation in Canada because we've been so peaceful for so long. We've had relative peace for a long time. And it's easy for gangsters to come in and just go, yeah, I'm going to run roughshod here. No problem. That's a new sheriff in town, like gangsters is coming in. And this is exactly what's happening. And when you have Trudeau, who just doesn't care about the border either, well, we have people going back and forth. And what happens when a border is this porous? We're going to have criminal activity happening back and forth. You're going to have people taking advantage of the opportunity of the openness especially in British Columbia. It's just so crazy. It's astonishing to me just how insane it actually is. I've got this is a great illustration of just how crazy British Columbia is. It's the province that I live in. Of course, here's an image. One of these things is illegal in BC. The other isn't. Yeah, that's right. Can you guess? Leave a chat in the chat. Which one of these things is illegal and which one's okay in British Columbia? This is insane. This is the bizarro clown world that we all live in under Trudeau, and in British Columbia under the NDP, which are backing Trudeau. That's a great meme, Clyde. Yeah, the straw is illegal. That's right. The straw is the thing that's illegal. Can you imagine that? Can you think back 20 years and go, yeah, this is going to be the reality in Canada? You think back 9 years before Trudeau came in, that this is going to be the reality in Canada, that a plastic straw is going to be illegal to have, but we're going to traffic that stuff and it's totally fine. Totally fine. Unbelievable. I don't even know how to square this circle. Like, what do you even say to this? It's unbelievable. But so Trump is down Trump is always down in Mar-a-Lago. I mean, it's his home. It's his home sweet home. But Trudeau is flying down to Mar-a-Lago to see Trump amid tariff concerns. That's right. I know a spot where you can still get the Canadian plastic straws. Just tell anybody. Just tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. I order mine, I think, from Amazon. We get ours from Amazon, and we just have to have a bunch of plastic straws with us all the time. It's stupid. You can't even get it. Go to the grocery store. I have to go to the self-checkout because there's no people working. I'm I should get a discount because I'm doing a job, right? But no, I go to the self-checkout, and at the end of the self-checkout, what does it ask me? And it's mandatory. There's no skipping it. It says, how many bags? How many bags? How many bags? How many bags? Why does it say how many bags? You're not allowed to have any bags. You can't have bags. But it does. It says it every time. It annoys me to no end. I don't even know how to deal with it at this point. But let's get into this. Trudeau flies to Mar-a-Lago to see Trump amid tariff concerns. He's making his way down there. He's gonna have that hard conversation, political leader to political leader. Like, come on. We've all seen what goes down with Trump or with Trudeau in these situations. Trump is a hard ass. What do you expect me to say? Like, what do you think? I mean, he wrote The Art of the Deal, for one. He wrote The Art of the Deal. He's a great negotiator, and he knows how to use leverage. And what leverage does Canada have right now, if any? What leverage does Canada have? What do we have to bring to the table? Oh, well, we have a bunch of tariffs on you. Wait, what? It wasn't that long ago. It was back in January, almost a year ago now, that Crafted by Clyde. I love the name. He'll give tax money to save his skin. Yeah, he will. It's nuts. Where was I? Back in January, we had to go negotiate a new trade deal with Britain the country we came from, the country that still has the royalty on our coins and money, that thing, that country where, even our lawyers are like counsel to the king. Land is still called crown land. Corporations owned by the government are crown corporations. Yeah, the monarchy. That's right. We had negotiations with Britain not too long ago, and in those negotiations, they told us, you know what? Come back when you're serious. Come back when you're serious, when you want to put your big boy pants on, and then we'll talk. But right now, nah, don't want. No. That's what happened. That's what happened. They walked away. Our oldest trading partner used to be our boss. Walked away. Said, put on your big boy pants. Tamara Leach. I know that name. How you doing, Tamara? Thank you for the super chat. Amazing. I would love to be a fly on the wall for that meeting. LOL. Trudeau is such a beta cock. Whoa, the strong language tonight, Tamara. All right, fair enough. I would love to be a fly on the wall for that. That is just hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not going to be televised. That's just one of those things. One WW guy, member for 14 months. Thank you so much for being a member and sticking around. It would be wonderful if Trump refused to see Trudeau. He already doesn't like him and has refused to see him before. That would be funny. Do you think Trudeau would have gone down if he was like not answering the phone or something like that? I don't know. Proud Grammy. Is that Proud Grammy? Yeah, Proud Grammy for $5 says, it blows my mind that we here in Canada are even discussing terror. Seriously, Canada. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that this is even a consideration. Unreal. And thank you so much for the super chat. But you just triggered my memory about something here. And I want to get into this because this. Oh, why do you keep popping up there? Stop going to that screen. Come over to this screen right here. Let's share this tab. I want to talk about this. I'll make this big too. Desi Martha on X puts this out there. It says, is Canada becoming a Cristo sanctuary? Here's a list of Khalistan elements taking shelter in Canada. Now, remember, before anybody in the chat says, well, they're not really Terristo, they're whatever. According to India, they are. And a number of them have been slated for extradition, where we don't take into consideration the extradition treaties that we have with them. Unbelievable. Clyde going through 5 stages of grief. Maybe. Look at these names. Is it a surprise to you? I probably can't pronounce half of them. Yeah, Khalistan Tiger Force stays in Surrey. This guy stays in Canada with valid Indian passport till 2026. Snover Dillon stays in Ontario. All these people. Wow. Here's all these people. And then we go back. We go back in history and we find out, how long have we been like this? How long has Canada actually been like this? Have we been sleepwalking all this time? Because it turns out after the Second World War, a bunch of like the Waffen SS came over and they just kind of integrated and disappeared into society. Nobody cared. They weren't active. Let's give them that at least. They didn't continue it out. But we harbored them for a really long time. Absolutely did. It's unnerving. It's unnerving. Spiky Mikey with the $5 super, crack me up with the name, with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It would be funny when Trudeau knocks on Trump's door and Pierre answers, love your stream, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, Pierre answering the door for Trudeau at Mar-a-Lago. Oh, that would be way too funny. That would be way too funny. What was this? No, sorry, got the wrong chat. SS Germans were brought to Canada under Operation Paperclip. Look it up. I'll have to look that up. I will have to look that up. I'm not familiar with that. But I know 60 Minutes has done coverage on this where people were seeking out, justice for war criminals. And they found so many of them in Canada. So many of them. So how long have we been harboring bad people? Bad people. Like, seriously, it's unreal. And we can all agree, right? I think we can all agree on this one, that, when it came to the conflict in World War II, there were people who were conscripted and they had no choice in the matter. And, here's a rifle, walk that way, or there's a rifle turned at you. If you turn around, that was the situation for a lot of people. But when it came to certain military groups like the Waffen-SS, they were ideologically driven. They were behind the ideology of it. And we even heard about that Hunka guy who got the standing ovation in Parliament. One of the most embarrassing things to ever happen in Canadian history. Unbelievably. And they said, oh, we didn't know who he was. And then people came out and they said, oh, well, he was just conscripted and, that was just a thing. No, he has a blog. He has a blog that's he put it out in Ukrainian and it was translated, where he says the days of the Waffen-SS when he was carrying out orders were some of the best days of his life. Sorry, not a good guy. Not a good guy. Just love Barron Trump. We'll see what Barron Trump does. How did he get so tall? That's the question. Holy cow. I mean, I get it. Trump's not a short guy, and Melania is not short, but like, whoa, he's towering over both of them. That's just amazing. He's got one of those interesting moments, or interesting batches, I guess you call it, of the genes. You missed my comment. I want an answer. Anyone know? I don't know what your comment was. I'm sorry. Lots of comments. Dude, for real. But yeah, it's crazy story with that. But yeah, so Trump's down there, and depending on Trudeau is down there. I keep saying Trump. Of course, Trump's down there. Again, it's his home, but lots of different outlets doing the coverage here. Canadian PM Justin Trudeau visits Trump at Mar-a-Lago amid steep tariff threats. Now, of course, recently they're calling him what is it, Little Justin on Fox News. Now, you have to understand the American perspective, and this is the thing that a lot of Canadians just need to come to grips with. Really come to grips with. I'm a dual citizen. I'm my dad's American, my mom's Scottish and came to Canada when she was young. So I'm a first generation Canadian, and I love America. I love American culture. I love all kinds of things about America. But I remember growing up in Canada and having a lot of people having this outlook of, Canada, we're Canadians, we're not Americans, and having this like looking down on Americans. Kyle, I will be coming. I know. Kyle, how you doing? That's great. It's great to see you in here. Holy cow. My buddy Kyle, great friend. Holy cow. Great friend. I've known Kyle for years. I knew him. We met in Japan, actually, at a bar I used to be a bartender at. And he's down in Texas now. And he's going through his own journey in life. And man, thoughts, prayers, everything for you, my man. You're one of the strongest mother. Yeah. Holy shit. My man. I can't wait to see you in person again. I really can't. And we're going to make it happen soon enough, brother. Yeah. Just great to see you in the chat. Really, really great to see you in the chat. Sorry, I had a moment there, chat folks. Had a moment. Where was I? Yeah. I lost my whole train of thought on that one. Make tariffs and protection of domestic products great again. Yeah, see, this is I don't know if I agree so much with the protectionism aspect of it. Again, my libertarian senses are tingling when I hear protectionism. I'm definitely all about using tariffs as a way to negotiate. It's a tactic, it's a tool, it's something that you want to have in your back pocket. And who else but America? America, at the end of the day, you got to look at it this way. America has a population of 300 million people on the low end. 300 million people. We're growing way too fast, but we're a tenth of that. Essentially, we're a tenth of that. And America has a lot on its plate. And if some crap is happening in Canada, I don't blame them for coming in and going, listen, love you guys, but what the hell? What the hell are you doing? Seriously? We've got how many crossing the border of these Cristo? We got that happening over and over again. We've got the drugs going across the border. You guys are a real pain in our ass right now. So I don't blame Trump. I don't blame Trump for putting that stuff on. And in fact, I hope we don't get the tariffs. If we get the tariffs, it's always going to be Trudeau's legacy that he screwed up our border so bad that tariffs were put, economic sanctions were put on our country. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. Million children missing. All kinds of issues. Oh yeah, and don't forget, yeah. If you're a Discord user, we only ever make the link available during the live streams. So if you want to be part of the community, get on over. The link is in the chat right there. It's also in the link in the description down below. If you're watching this just a little bit after the stream, the link stays live for quite a few hours afterwards, but the link will die soon after, and then you won't have access to come into the Discord. So just keep that in mind. But everybody's welcome to come in and join and come join the chat and hang out with everybody. Trish Prue with a $6.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Trish. It is okay to be excited to see Pierre make Jagmeet eat his words. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Keep up the good work, Clyde. Yeah, that's the whole idea of telling Jagmeet that right, you didn't stand up. He didn't stand up for the union workers and all of that stuff. Maybe he'll make it. Maybe because they have a chance to bring up a confidence vote. Maybe they'll do some, because this. Okay, I just want to lay this out here before I bring my guests in. The whole GST thing. It was what it was really about. Was about getting the conservatives to vote against it. Trudeau doesn't care about lowering taxes for people. If he wanted to give a significant tax decrease, he could have just got rid of the carbon tax. No, this is about politics. So what Trudeau did with this GST break was he made something that's completely uneconomical. We broke it down. The guys at Blender News broke it down. Carla Treadway broke it down. She said, if this comes about, the money we're going to lose is greater than the money we're going to get out of it. I've made it a thing. And then even the mainstream news started talking about it afterwards, is that if you cut the GST temporarily, it's going to put in a tremendous strain on businesses that have to do inventory and all this other stuff. That's the thing. What frustrates me the most is that the people think we are actually that stupid. Yeah, Yeah, it's crazy. But here's the thing. Oh, I would love to see a flat tax, Zen. Holy cow. That would be the way to go. Way to go. Simplify the tax code to one line. Everybody pays this much %. That's it. One line. Done. This oversimplification of the tax code would be great. But I want to say this because Trudeau made this happen for one reason only, so that the Conservatives would vote against a tax break. It's a posture. That's all it is. And I think in response, the Conservatives are going to come forward with a posture against Jagmeet Singh, and that posture is going to be to bring some sort of motion that has, attached to it confidence vote, and that motion will be something along the lines of, here we go, it's going to be for the unions. We're gonna do this thing for the unions, even though the Conservatives don't typically go in line with unions. That's the reality. Chris with the $20 super chat. Thank you. Appreciate that. Wow. Thank you. As you said, Justin is probably a psychopath. Yeah, I did say that. Trump will not put up with a delusional man like him running his neighboring country, or ruining his neighboring country. That's right. Justin will be forced to throw an election. He looks like Ted Bundy. You can't unsee it. Wow. I kind of agree with you there. He does have like a bit of a Ted Bundy look. That's funny. Thank you so much. I misclicked there. Just me, Nicole, with a $2 super chat. Did you see PP's motion? He put it on X. I don't think I saw it. I'll have to pull that up after. Because I got a couple of guests that are waiting in the loo to come in lieu of me inviting them, not in the loo. There are a couple of guests that are waiting to chat because we want to talk. I wanted to talk more about the immigration stuff that's going on in Canada. And of course, I love to bring different minds to the table a little bit of back and forth. We don't all agree on all things, and it would be great to hear different perspectives from people who have come from different walks of life, as always. And it's always great to share ideas. So my first guest, he was on earlier this week. We had a great chat about some of the stuff that's happening here in Canada, and in relation to what's also happening in Venezuela. And apparently, a bunch of stuff is happening up until recently, which I'm excited to hear more of. So welcome to the show, Rudy. Rudy, thanks for joining me.
Hey, man. Good to see you again.
Yeah, likewise.
Good to be here. Very happy to be here, man. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, I appreciate it. And I watch as many of your podcasts have been this past week as I can. It's I love how YouTube now has the translation feature, so you can watch. Obviously, the audio only isn't so great just yet. The AI is almost there; it's coming. But because you do your podcast in Spanish mostly, it's great because you can do the subtitles. They auto generate, so nobody has to go in there and type them up. So it's fantastic. You've been doing just great work talking about the whole story between Canada and Venezuela.
Yeah, I've been trying to explain that to my audience on the channel. Most of the people that follows me there, they're over 40 years old. You know how it is. Sometimes they have, a few issues to kind of find out how to set up, how to add the subtitles on your videos. Because I say the same to them. Like I was like, hey, you should go and visit Clyde's channel. He talked about Canadian politics and I think also American, right, from the United States as well. So, I don't know if somebody came to your channel and leave a comment. I asked him to do it. You had to go and do it. But yeah, no, like I really appreciate to have this opportunity. It's right now we're looking to speak about what is happening in Venezuela, and of course all the problems that Venezuela is bringing to different countries. It's unfortunately that this is happening, but it's real and it's coming to Canada. Yeah.
It absolutely is coming to Canada. People are asking for a link for your channel in the chat. I'm going to make sure to get that in there as soon as I can here. Just bear with me for 1 second. But I wanted to talk about, so there's a lot of parallels to what happened in Venezuela and what's happening in Canada now. And we obviously we don't want to go down that road where, you know, have like some Chavez kind of character come into Canada. I've been warning about this. I've been warning about this for a long time. It's that simple. It can happen like that. And people say, oh no, we're relatively wealthy. We have a good economy. We have good culture and all this stuff. So did Venezuela. So did Venezuela. Venezuela was like one of the top earning countries in the world a decade ago. It's unbelievable how people don't realize how quickly things can go sour and why so many people are trying to leave the country. Actually, us helping Venezuela get out of this situation would be a big benefit. So there wouldn't be such a big influx of people wanting to leave.
Yeah. Look, there was a time that when Venezuela was, you know, doing fine economically. Of course, I was a kid, but my parents, they told me that the situation that people were complaining in Venezuela a long time ago wasn't that bad comparing to where we are right now, right? There was even a time where the Bolivar, which is the Venezuelan currency, was, I think it was higher like than the American dollar. But that was many years ago.
Yeah.
Of course, one of the things is the Hugo Chavez, who died a few years ago. He decided to create control over the what kind of currency people were able to get. You know, like, how do you call that in English? Sorry, you know, I'm a Latino and I forget.
Like money controls.
Yeah, but you limit the access that people will have to acquire any currency. You know, like you have to. There's a control over that. And when he decided to do that, of course, everything started to going down, because then after that there was a parallel market. People looking to get American dollars because we were running out of American dollars. And so people were started to doing, you know, all kind of stuff outside the legal market to kind of like figure out how to survive. So there's so many things. And my dad always tell me, well, we used to say in that time, I remember people saying, well, I don't think we're gonna look, or we're gonna kind of like be seen as Cuba in the future. Definitely no. I mean, we're a bigger country. We have so many things, you know. It's gonna be, and we have a bigger population. So if something's gonna happen, we're gonna fight. Nothing happened. I mean, these guys, they start to partner with all kind of terrorist groups. They start to being new allies, or to form new groups of alliance with Russia, China, you know, just the best kind of people in the world.
Yeah, all the typical suspects that you'd want to hang out with, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you look, which are Maduro's friends right now, they are all dictators, like the guy from Nicaragua, of course, Cuba. Diaz-Canel is the name of the guy in Cuba right now, because the Castros, they retired. Well, one died, the other one retired. And so yeah, I remember when people were saying they used to say that we will never be like Cuba, and now we probably kind of worse. I don't know. The same thing with the people of Nicaragua. I have many friends from Nicaragua, even here in Canada. And I actually were trying to get them on my channel to speak about the situation right now in Nicaragua, which is getting worse. And they are so afraid, you know, to speak out or to be in camera because they have family over there. So that's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened when you let people to take control of everything just on the sake of protecting you.
Yeah. Unreal. So we've got more to bring to this conversation. I wanted to bring in another guest. You guys all know him. Rudy, this will be your first time to meet him, but might as well just go right to it. This is Alex Zoltan. Welcome to the chat.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I've been trying to compete with you on some of the funny videos, but you're banging them out on YouTube or on X so much these days. You're killing it.
Oh, the Canadian government makes it easy for me right now. There's a lot of material.
That's unreal. That's
the biggest problem. There's an overabundance of material.
So, Rudy, if you don't know, Alex is pretty prolific on Twitter for lambasting our government by showing videos of them in their own behavior. But one thing that's most notable about how Alex puts his videos together is he often shows the reaction of people in behind instead of focusing on the person who's speaking. It's always like, how are people reacting to this? Because it's actually really funny. It's really funny, especially with the Liberals right now. It seems like they're not having anything to do with. They don't. They're just like falling asleep when Trudeau's talking.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's some favorites. Anita Anand has a particularly funny resting bee face, and yeah, there's some characters in the House of Commons for sure.
Fair enough. But so the topic of today, and this is kind of just a free-form conversation, jump in anytime you feel like, is immigration. So I've said this many times, I'm a dual citizen, the product of an American and a Scottish person who came to Canada, got together and made a bunch of children. And, so I have, allegiances, different allegiances, but other people come to the country. Alex, I think you're homegrown Canadian, but you have roots in Hungary, I believe. Yeah. And Rudy, you're from Venezuela, and you've made your way to Canada and turned it into your home, not as a refugee, but as a, hey, this is the place you want to live, and you want to adapt to the culture and the way things are. I wanted to frame this conversation around that because essentially right now immigration is on the table as a conversation piece, and we've been told by the left, if you disagree with the way the current system is, you're a racist, and by the right, just shut up, don't make us look like racists. That's really how the conversation has been going. But really, we need reforms. We need reforms, and there's been some reforms by the Liberal Party in Canada, and those reforms have really sent us up Schitt's Creek as of late, and we're in trouble. We're in trouble because of just the sheer number of people that have been coming into the country, and we're looking at possibly an influx because of what's happening with the Trump presidency. Now, I want to ask you, Rudy, because obviously a lot of these people are going to be from Venezuela, because there's a huge amount of people, millions of people that have left the country because, well, that's what happens when communism takes over. Socialism takes over your nation. At a certain point, you have to you run out of other people's money to spend, and poverty happens, and no new investment comes, and everybody's like, well, I have no opportunity, I have to go elsewhere. What is just for everybody who doesn't know what it's like for Venezuelans, like, what is it like for them when they have to leave the country and they're looking for a new place?
Yeah, I can tell you stories that I know in general that are common to many people that is escaping socialism in Venezuela. The thing is that socialism in Venezuela, it looks very different to what it looks here, or in, I don't know, the people that is trying to implement that in the United States. They always use, how do you say, a tool to make you feel, like scared of things. Like, for example, in the United States, they try to scare you that Donald Trump is gonna take away the right to for women to choose and that kind of stuff. In Venezuela, it's more like the empire. Like kind of like Star Wars movie. The United States is the empire, and we had to fear the empire. The thing that used to be, something that many people in Venezuela, believe it or not, used to believe. Like the United States was evil, Canada was evil. Everything was evil except Venezuela, Cuba, or Nicaragua. Countries like that. So people that is escaping Venezuela, they escape for many reasons. They escape because the criminals. They escape because the kidnapping. They escape because the government is putting people in jail just because the way they think. Kind of like what is happening in the UK right now, that they are losing their freedom of speech, or they already lose that. I don't know, but something like that. Like people is afraid to talk on social media in Venezuela. So there are many reasons why people escape in Venezuela. Like I can tell you from my personal experience the reason why I decide to leave Venezuela. And I already named a few of them. Like, for example, I was afraid to express myself on social media. I was tired of the crime in Venezuela. I actually was a victim of kidnapping. I saw my one of my best friends die in front of my eyes when he got shot just because two guys were trying to get his phone. So those are the kind of things that happen every day in Venezuela, in every state, in every city. Now, the situation, I think, is a little bit different now because remember when Donald Trump say multiple times, these countries are literally opening the jails to let all the criminals leave the country and go to United States, Chile, Colombia, Argentina, everywhere in the world. So that was true, like we know that because now people in Venezuela, when I talk with them, hey, how's everything over there right now? And they say, it feels safer now, the streets and everything. I don't know where the criminals are. Yeah. So
because they're not there. So they literally, that's like, because it sounds like hyperbole when people say it. It sounds like you're making it up. You're just exaggerating. But they literally opened up the doors and they said, "Go." Like, how did this work?
Well, that's the way that I imagine it happens, something like that. There is a cartel called very, very organized and criminal cartel from Venezuela called El Tren de Aragua. You probably heard that on the news. It's everywhere in the United States. They all operate in different countries, but right now they're working in the United States, and it's crazy what is happening there. It seems that they are taking over all the cities in the United States, to be honest. They are, they're taking life, they're kidnapping, they are stealing, they're even taking over buildings, apartment buildings, and making people pay them like a kind of like the rent, but it's something illegal that they're doing there. I don't know how it works exactly, but yeah, so they have different kind of crimes now operating from were exported from Venezuela to the United States. And unfortunately, if Donald Trump, he's gonna do it. They're gonna start deporting a lot of people illegal. I believe they're gonna start with the criminals. Where do you think they're gonna escape? Do you think they're gonna go to Mexico, or do you think they're gonna come to Canada? Which one is gonna be the best for them to escape? And to keep committing crimes. I believe they're gonna come. I believe they're gonna come to Canada. And at least the government stop being so polite with everybody. And I'm not saying that all immigrants are bad. I'm an immigrant myself. But I'm pretty sure that if they don't ask for documentation or to pass through all the filters they need to pass, there's going to be a lot of criminals coming through the border, and you will not recognize them. I will probably recognize them because the way they speak, because the way they look. So because I know, when you, I don't know if it happened the same here in Canada, but in Venezuela, when I was walking the streets, and I looked two guys, they look kind of like strange to me. I was like 99% sure that those two guys were about to steal something or maybe to do something worse. So yeah, and I seen them on the news, and it's kind of unbelievable where we are right now, with this situation. And of course, it's very difficult for Venezuelans as well, because now we're being looked as I don't know, that we might be part of those gangs, but yeah.
Right, it's kind of tainting like the whole bunch. It's like the bad apple analogy spoils the whole cart. When we know, like, the next prime minister of Canada, his wife is from Venezuela. She moved here through the proper channels, through the proper way, immigrated into Canada and became a Canadian citizen. And that's something that we've always celebrated here in Canada. And this is what I'm finding. I'm seeing a lot more of this. And this is what you and I were talking about this recently, Alex, that, in Canada, we're seeing a lot of pushback on the crappy immigration, but it's almost like baby out with the bathwater for some people. And we're losing sight of what good immigration looks like. And what Canada needs immigrants, like, bar none. We're not making enough children. We're not making enough people. We're growing, and we need more people for our economy. We have, an older generation, the baby boomers, that are retiring, and there's a lot of shoes to fill. So the question then is, like, how do we fill that? But at the same time, there's this new sentiment out there that anybody who's an immigrant is like bad somehow, or that kind of thing. What do you say to that?
Are you asking me, Clyde?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that a lot of people think that immigration is the cause of more problems than it is, and people don't realize that it's the solution to more problems than they realize. So an example that somebody gave to me recently is, they said, well, have you been to a hospital recently? And actually, I had a couple of years ago, and it's anecdotal, but 90% of the patients were white old stock Canadians, and 90% of the staff were immigrants. So I'm not particularly convinced that immigration is the cause of our healthcare crisis. I think that the same applies across the board to a lot of other industries as well.
Well, I think a lot of our doctors that grew up here finding opportunities south of the border, to be honest, and you're going to have to make up that shortfall somewhere. Absolutely. So if we can get doctors from foreign countries, but then how long before they're looking at it? And it's the whole leaky bucket thing, right? So this is the concept for anyone who's joining new and don't know the leaky bucket story. So every year they do a tally. I think it's some immigration nonprofit organization that does this, or citizens nonprofit. And the leaky bucket is basically how many people have come into Canada, and how many are of the skilled labor or skilled professionals that we're looking for. Part of the criteria is like francophones, because that's a thing that they're looking for as well. How many of those people are coming here and then after a short period taking off, just saying forget it, or going somewhere else? Opportunity's better somewhere else. Why not go there? Well, we have all these other people coming in that are not quite that, right? And we should be, obviously, again, we should be vetting these people. But even when we do get the good ones that we're looking for, this has become an issue where we're losing so many. And like you said, you go to the hospital and it's 90% foreigners. That's the medical staff in Canada.
Hey, bro. There is something that is kind of like very, very interesting to me. And it is that, for example, with the thing that you were mentioning about doctors, it is true that I believe that we need more doctors or nurses. Many of them, Canadians, they left. I remember I was following this lady during the pandemic, and she was targeted by the government. She made a whole video about being in the airport and being asked about, I think, the vaccines or something like that. It was a huge problem for her, and then she decided to go to Florida because it was kind of like easy for her to apply over there and work over there, something like that. She left. And also many people. Something that I heard from Pierre Poilievre. How do you say it pronounced? Pierre
Poilievre, yeah.
Poilievre. Okay, Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre. Okay. Something that I always heard from him, or at least in the past, he was talking a lot about this, is that he mentioned about fast track people that have a title, like a certificate, a degree on medicine, to be able to work here in Canada faster. That's something that I will support because I believe many people, for example, from Venezuela, are very how do you say capacitate to work. I'm sorry?
Qualified?
Qualified, sorry. That's the word I was looking. Qualified to work in Canada because I know the medical system in Venezuela. I have family members that are doctors, and I know the whole process. You know, they went through like 10 years studying to be a neurosurgeon and that kind of stuff, plus more years. You know that never ends. So that's something that I would support to do. I don't know what you guys think about that in that case with the immigrants.
Yeah. So what you're talking about is the Blue Seal certificate that Pierre Poilievre was floating, and this is his idea that just like the Red Seal in Canada is the trades. So I'm a Red Seal holder. I'm a card carrying Red Seal automotive certified technician. You can get your Red Seal as a plumber, a carpenter, you name it, the electrician, all these different trades. And because of that, I can go anywhere in Canada, except Quebec, of course, but I can go anywhere in Canada and they'll recognize my certification. And it's great. It's a perfect opportunity. And any foreigner that comes from another country, maybe not regardless of where you're from, but with certain you have to prove that you did work in a field or whatever for X amount of time with transcripts from universities, that kind of thing. You can get into the trades, and you can challenge the exam to get your Red Seal, because they'll trust that, yes, you've done this, you have the work experience, but we still need a test. We're not going to just hand it to you. But you do the test. If you pass, then you can get into it. And he was floating the idea of doing that with the medical trades. So you're a doctor, you're a physician, you're a nurse, you're X-ray, operator, or whatever, technician, laboratory technicians. These are all the jobs that we need to fill in the medical health sector. There are people that are stoked. They don't want to be Uber drivers. They don't want to be, Tim Hortons cashiers. They want to come here and then go right into their trade, into what it is that they do. And we should make a vehicle for that to happen. I absolutely agree with it.
Yeah, there's an old joke, like, if you're in Toronto and you need a doctor, don't call an ambulance, call a cab.
Yeah, right.
Because there's so many doctors that are just driving cabs for a living, right? We have so many people that are very, very qualified, but a lot of the resistance comes from the unions too. I mean, doctors don't have a union in Canada, but the nursing union, for instance, and part of that is to protect the wages of their workers. I suppose that's their modus operandi. But yeah, I think it's a great idea. It's just a matter of whether or not those other institutions will go for it or not.
Yeah,
and with the thing of immigrants, like, for example, Venezuelans coming to Canada, I had to go back again to the United States. I've seen a lot of this, okay, let's call it illegal immigrants in the United States that went to cities like New York or Chicago, I think. Yeah, Chicago as well. There's a lot of people working, of course, in different sectors. They start, from the bottom, scaling the way to the top. People working as Uber drivers, DoorDash, this kind of stuff. I don't know if you read the article about this guy from the El Tren de Aragua, the mob, the cartel, who took the life of this lady in, I forgot the name of the city. I have it on my screen here, but the guy was working. The guy was I think he was working construction or something like that. And they can come to Canada. You're gonna look to them. They're gonna be working. I'm pretty sure they're gonna come here and they're gonna work. Whatever they're gonna work. Of course, Canada is a bit different from States because finding jobs without knowing English is very difficult here, right? So I don't know what kind of job they're gonna be probably doing because most of these people, they went to stay recently. Most of them, they don't speak English. They only speak Spanish. Most of them. And if they come to Canada, what do you guys think? In what sectors or which area do you think they're going to work?
So, well, I personally know that experience, right? So I moved to Japan. I lived in Japan for 3 years, and I did that so that I could learn the language. That was the main purpose: to learn the language, the culture, and be able to, communicate with my in-laws. That I felt that very important. The whole family thing. So that was really tough. And I remember going, well, I could be a technician. I could do this or that, but I can't really because it's difficult. I have to do a lot of reading for my job. I have to do, a lot of communication with people and talking about technical stuff. Even with basic Japanese skills, I still have a hard time talking about technical stuff. I can do conversational Japanese, right? But yeah, that becomes a big hurdle because then you have people that are potentially professionals, but then they end up in service sector work, which is exactly what I did. I ended up working as a bartender, and I had a great time, and I made lots of money in my 20s, and that was fun. But I can't imagine doing that as like someone who's trying to raise a family, start a life. Like this was young and traveling, but I do understand the plight. Like it's not an easy task. It's very difficult.
Yeah, it is. It is very difficult. It was difficult for me, even though that I knew English, but not fluently. And it's not like my English is perfect now. I still need to improve a lot of stuff. I forget words. You've seen that here. But the thing is that there are not many places. There are not many places here in Canada that you can go and work as a Spanish or Latino Spanish speaker, where everyone speaks Spanish. The same place. I work here in a place that most of the people that work there, they speak Spanish. So they work with a lot of Mexicans. Every year they bring Mexicans to work here in Canada. And yeah, so but it has to be a place like that because that's why they're going to States. Of course, they're going there because they have it's easier for them because the Latino community is big. It's really big. There's a lot of Latinos in the United States. It's a huge community, and it's easy for them to go there. So that's another thing. And I mentioned that because if they come here, right? And I had no problem with my people coming here. Yeah, okay, everyone can come here, but the thing is that when they come here and they cannot find a job, and then the government needs to support them for how long, who knows? That means that probably things are gonna get expensive, I guess. And everything is like unorganized. I know that they say that they are banning the immigration, they're not giving more student visas, I think, for 3 years or 2 years, something like that.
Yeah, that's right. They're
Okay.
well, no, they're it's just they're bringing down the increases. So they had this projection of increases that they were going to do, and they increased it by 300%, and then they pulled it back 150%. So we're still at 150% increase since 2001. So like it's a misnomer to say that they're pulling back. What they're not doing is they're not renewing a bunch of visas for people who were here for a long time. So there's influx of temporary people that were told by dubious actors, the liberal government, that they would be able to stay permanently, even though they're coming over for temporary reasons. Now, you're talking about Mexicans coming over for work for particular reasons. I have nothing bad to say about those groups. In fact, we see a lot of it here in British Columbia, and those people, they use the visas for what they're for. Like, they're literally for jobs on farms where people can't get enough local staff and they need it, and they can't mechanize it. They don't have the ability to mechanize it, and they bring them in for orchards and fruit picking and all these other different things. And it's fantastic. It's a great exchange. They come up from Mexico, they work, they make money, they're happy, the farmers are happy, and they go home, and they don't overstay because they do it year over year. If they overstayed, they would be barred from entering again. So they like the program. We like the program. That's a win-win. I think that's a no-brainer on that front.
Sure.
Yeah, like in the Okanagan, for instance, Karamias is a town that comes to mind. It's a tiny little farming town, and every summer we import thousands of Mexicans as temporary foreign workers, and they're great. And I've never heard anybody complain about anybody overstaying their welcome or there being any problems. But of course, the problem in Canada is that there's only 2 or 3 months of season where their work is needed, right? The rest of the year, it's just too bloody cold to grow anything. So there is work for people. It's just, it tends to be very temporary.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And that's a great system for that. Sorry, go ahead.
I agree. No, I agree, because the people that I know, that I met in this job, they're all from Mexico, and they actually just come every year. They do their job for a few months, and as soon as the snow, shows up, they just go back to Mexico, and they come back again for the summer season, right? To work. Yeah, I mean, that's a very organized way to do it, and the government had control of that, I guess, to see who is overstaying here and who don't. But I have an idea, I have an idea for in case that what I mentioned before, people that come here, they don't speak the language, they can find a job, so the government had to, give them money every month, who knows for how long. I have an idea. I remember a long time ago, Hugo Chavez, probably one of the best things he made as a populist, because that's what they do. He was trying to be like a superhero. We have a very difficult time in Venezuela many years ago, and many people they lost their homes, they lost their place to live, they couldn't work and all that kind of stuff. So imagine Donald Trump offering the White House for those people that don't have a place to stay. So that's what Chavez did. Chavez, he say, well, okay, the White House in Venezuela is called Miraflores. So he say, well, everyone that doesn't have a house, just come here to Miraflores, and you can stay here until we solve the problem. Also, he quit to his salary as a president, and he said, I never understood that. I was like, yeah, but how are you gonna make money then if you are quitting to your salary as a president of Venezuela? Of course, that was something that he didn't care. It was just peanuts for all the money that he was stealing from all the person, Yeah. So nothing happened, right? So we should do the same here in Canada and ask Trudeau Christian Freeland, all of them, to quit their salaries, and to help all the immigrants with their salaries, and maybe offer, the House of Commons for people that don't have a place to live.
Sussex Drive is empty right now.
Yes,
it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, our I guess equivalent to the White House has
sorry.
been empty for a while. It's been empty for years. Because it's in such disrepair. It's a metaphor for the whole country.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
And also, I mean, there's a lot of people living on the streets here in Canada. They the tent camps. I don't know how they do during the winter. I haven't checked that. But they should open the House of Commons. They work for the people. They want to take care of the people. So that's an idea. They should, open the doors of the public buildings and allow them to sleep there until they can build more housing. I don't know.
Yep, that's another idea that's been floated by Polyev, is using up we have a lot of empty government buildings. I believe it's thousands of buildings.
Yes.
And I think we spend millions of dollars every year just maintaining these empty buildings, which is crazy.
Yeah, sell it off. And of course, when he came up with that idea, and it's a popular idea because it makes a lot of sense. As soon as he comes up with that, there's a fruit fly in here. As soon as he comes up with that, then Trudeau comes up with another idea. We're gonna
lease it out.
We're gonna be landlords. Like, leave it up to a socialist to not give up any power and not give up any land or property. Just let it go. Just let it go. The people. This is the fundamental issue with socialism and just like the ideology it's this ideology of control. And a lot of people think it's an ideology of good feelings and altruism.
Generosity.
It's not. It's fully control. It's I don't trust you with your life and your decisions. I want to make those decisions for you. That's brutal. That's absolutely brutal. And this is the ideology that Trudeau brings to the table when he takes the good idea of selling off government property and giving it to the people and saying, no, we're going to be your landlord. That's what we're going to do. Crazy.
Yeah. Hey, Clyde, I want to take a minute just to talk to your audience. If you allow me to talk about Venezuela just for 1 minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We're trying to help the politicians from the opposition and the leader of the opposition, which name is Maria Corina Machado. I don't know if you guys have heard about her. She's a great leader. She's been fighting the regime for many years. She was the first politician in Venezuela to confront in person to Hugo Chavez, which was very intimidating to talk with him in person. And she did before any other politician in Venezuela. And since then, she's been fighting a lot, to kind of recover Venezuela and to help Venezuela to go back to democracy again. In the last couple years, Maria Corina Machado, she tried to run as a president, as a candidate to be a president in the elections of this year, and the government blocked her from doing that. So for that reason, she chose another person, and this person is called Edmundo Gonzalez. Edmundo Gonzalez participated in the presidential election this year in July 28th in Venezuela. And that day, many things happened. As always, the government tried to intimidate people on the streets with gangs because they always do that. Kind of like the Tren del Agua, they drive on motorcycles around the polling station with guns, and they stay away, but it's a form of intimidation to people to go back to their homes and no vote. But yeah, so this year was different. Many millions of people went to the street to vote very early in the morning. In Venezuela, we don't have early vote. You cannot vote by mail. You had to go the same day. It's only one day, and that's it. And yeah, and we won because we have a way to prove it. Maria Corina Machado, she worked with many militaries, the army, that secretly they were kind of like mad with the government. So she worked with them. She organized thousands of people in Venezuela, and they got the tally sheets from the voting machines. So that's how we prove that we won the election, and we probably won the elections many years ago in other elections, but we never had the way to prove it.
Can you just say, like, logistically, how did they do that? Like, they somehow snuck out the tallies and then gave the same tally to the government at the same time, and then they organized in another location to tally it separate from what the government tallied?
Okay, so what usually happens, as soon as the polling stations, the government close the polling stations, so what they do, they start counting votes by printing the tally sheets, and then they see how many votes each candidate got, right? And they print 2 copies. So one copy at the end is going to go to the opposition as a proof, and the other copy is going to go to the current government, right? And then at the end of the day, when they finish counting all the votes in the country, and that usually happens really fast. Normally, they go by the next day at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. sometimes. But this time it was like at 12 a.m. So they go, and the electoral center authorized by the government to deliver the final results, they went there without the tally sheets, without nothing. They just read a piece of paper, and they say numbers, like very short numbers, random numbers, and yeah. So that's how it happens. They print the tally sheets and they give it to the 2 parties, right? So everyone have proof of how many votes they got at the end. So what happened is that Maria Corina Machado, she found a way to, like, let's say that she worked about this for 2 years, organizing people, everyone in the opposition, politicians. She worked with militaries, like the army, but undercover. They're like they were working on the shade, without trying to make too much noise about what we're doing, so the government never realized that they were working against them. So she found the right people on every single polling station in the entire country. So what they did is that apparently they print another copy, and they hide it inside the cloth, in the shoe, inside the shoe, and they were able to take them out from the polling station, and they gave those tally sheets to the party of the opposition. So that's what happened. And then at the end, Maria Corina Machado, she made a website that you can go and visit, and you can see the final results, the real, and you can see the results of how many votes each candidate got, and you can also download the tally sheets. You can go to the website. I can put my I have a number for my identity in Venezuela. Each Venezuelan have a number, so we can go to the website. I can put my number there, and I can download the tally sheet that belongs to the polling center that I was supposed to go and vote. I can do that.
Oh, wow.
And then after that, this group of developers, programmers, web developers, they create another website. This website was kind of similar to the other one, but the only different thing is that this guy recollect all the videos of people in the polling station, yelling aloud the final results with the tally sheet, with some kind of tally sheet. I mean, they just wrote down the final results.
Mm-hmm.
So there's proof of everything, and everything match. The tally sheet, the videos, everything. So we prove that we won the elections, and Maduro is trying to steal the election from the opposition. So just to end this story, we're heading to December now. Between December and January, something might happen soon in Venezuela. We don't know what's going to happen. Some people say there's going to be war. Some people say that the mercenaries are going to go inside Venezuela to remove Maduro. And some people say that after January the 10th of the next year, which is the day that Maduro or the new president, the president-elect, Edmundo Gonzalez, they're going to be swear as a president, right? And what they're saying is, if Maduro do that, so after that day, everything, let's say, it's like it's on, like he's gonna lose his immunity as a politician, as a government official and everything. And we're also waiting for Donald Trump to take place and to see what he's gonna say about it. But yeah, right now we're waiting to see what's gonna happen. Hopefully it's not gonna be something like what happened in the past in Panama, when the United States invaded Panama, because many lives were lost during those times. Nobody wants war. Nobody wants another foreign country to invade another country. But right now, to be honest, the majority of people from my country, they actually want that to happen. And the government always say that.
You mean like a regime change? They would prefer an external regime change? Is that what you're saying?
The thing is that we don't have the guns. We don't have the weapons to fight the government. The government has the army, working for them. The government has the Cubans intelligence working for them, and also military from Cuba and from Russia. They go to Venezuela, kind of like the North Koreans going to Russia to fight,
Right.
Something like that, right? So they are in Venezuela. I remember one year that I was protesting on the streets, and I remember listening to the accent of the militaries, and they were Cubans, and I was so like, I don't know, I felt out of place. I was like, what's going on here? Like, we are being invaded by Cubans. I can't believe this, But that was happening in Venezuela, and yeah, so. I was just trying to explain a little bit of what's happening, because we are trying to take the message, right now for people that probably they doesn't know about what is happening in Venezuela. That is what's happening in Venezuela right now, and yeah, so stay tuned, because I think something big. That's the information that I have. Something big is going to happen in Venezuela, and Maria Corina Machado, when she speaks, when she talks. She's like pretty sure that this is going to happen, that there's going to be a change in Venezuela in January. So, and she also say that it might happen before. So stay tuned.
Yeah, well, we're very interested in what might happen in that whole situation.
How restricted is information in Venezuela? I mean, do they have a firewall similar to the one China has, or is it fairly free-flowing?
So the way that they're being able to survive as a democracy in Venezuela is that it's because they allow internet to be there, social media, even though they blocked the other, like a few weeks ago, Maduro blocked X in Venezuela for 10 days. People wasn't able to enter Twitter for 10 days. They do that sometimes. So what they do is they just cut off the internet. they slow down the speed, and also they cut the electricity. So there's many. This actually happened today in Caracas, because I have people from my audience in my channel. They were telling me, "Hey, Rudy, I couldn't watch your live stream because there were no electricity." So it's a huge problem. So that's the way that they manage people communicating, or going to social media. They just call the internet. They down the speed a lot, making it impossible. This Freedom Mobile, I think it is the name, which you get the plan of internet, and after you pass 2 gigabytes, your internet is gonna go down, right? Like the speed of your internet is gonna go down sometimes. So something like that is what happened in Venezuela, and that's how they manage to control the people communicating between each other, or to the external people, their family members, and yeah. So also TV is all controlled by the government. Plenty of channels that they just censor themselves because the government create new laws, kind of like we were seeing here in Canada as well. Yeah, so you don't hear that this TV channel talking bad about the government. They don't complain. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things happening in Venezuela that are so real. Like it's another word, It's a different word there.
What is their attitude towards Canadians coming as tourists?
I'm sorry, what's that?
What is their attitude towards Canadians coming as tourists? Do we need a visa to go there? Do you recommend it? And if so, what is there to do while I'm there?
You're looking for a tour guide.
Yeah. As of right now, no, I don't recommend anyone to go to Venezuela just because of the conflict that we have right now there.
Yeah.
Also, Canada belongs to the G7, right? The G7 just announced they are recognizing the president-elect Edmundo Gonzalez and no Maduro, the dictator. So I'm pretty sure Maduro is really, really mad with Canada right now. And the other thing is that I don't know if you need visa to go. I'm not sure if you need a visa as a Canadian to go there. Probably because they start asking for visa to many countries. But I can tell you this. In the last couple days, anyone who is a foreign that is it's not Venezuelan, they're being taking those people from States, from Spain, I think from France as well, and they take them to jail, and as soon as they take them, they just go to the media and they say that they capture a terrorist, they capture a mercenary, just because what is happening right now in Venezuela, they're taking hostage. So no, don't go to Venezuela, please. It's very dangerous.
All right, I'll just go to Vegas.
For those that don't know, Alex likes to put himself into all kinds of interesting situations. U.S. election, he went to Chop.
I did, yeah. I went to the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Lived there for 3 days. That was interesting.
You spent some time at some of the encampments out in Kamloops. The tent cities, that's interesting that you hung out with the locals.
I did. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a really interesting history, Venezuela. It's a really interesting place, and I pray that things get better in your country. And I'm very sad to hear about the situation going on there right now. I would love to visit one day.
No, I mean, it's horrible. Yeah, definitely. Venezuela is a beautiful country. It's worth it to go there one day, visit, to know the Angeles Falls. and all the cities, the beaches, the island, Margarita, beautiful island, Roques. There's a lot of places you can go there and definitely have a good time. But right now, to be honest, before this conflict, before the elections, people were traveling to Venezuela. A lot of people, YouTubers, they were making videos in Venezuela because, yeah, it's beautiful. And they had no problems, no problems at all. But people tend to think that going to Venezuela is cheap, and it's actually very expensive. It's more expensive than here, I would say. The price of gas, food, everything is to the roof right now. They have a really bad hyperinflation right now. Even though the government tried to say that the inflation was caused by a website, they deny that the inflation. They always deny anything that is related to the problems that the country have related to them. That they always separate from the problems, and they always put the guilt on the external and invisible enemy, and all the stuff. In this case, with inflation, they accuse a website that was only posting the price of the dollar in the parallel market, and just because of that, they say, "Oh, that's the case. That's the reason why we have inflation in Venezuela. They are inflating the price, on the website." So crazy stuff. But they always refuse to take any responsibility for the things that happen in Venezuela.
When they translated it to English, did they say that it was a vibe session? Sorry.
A vibe session?
So vibe session.
Oh,
that's
okay.
Yeah. So Christopher Freeland just came up with this. I think it's been a word that's been used, but like not by a lot of people.
What's the word? I saw the meme. I watched the meme on
vibe
Twitter,
session. Vibe session.
Okay.
So it's not a recession. It's just people aren't having the right vibe. They're not feeling the right vibe about the economy, and that's why they're not spending money, and it's on a downward trend. It's just a vibe session. We're doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to a couple of super chats here. Tamara Leach with a $13.99 super chat says, "Can you put in a link in the chat so we can follow him? What's the name of his podcast?" I'll make sure that's in the chat right there. Go check that out. RuddyCast.
Oh wow, that's Tamara Lynch, the real Tamara Lynch.
The real one, the one and only. Yeah, that's right.
Well, hi. Nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan of you and your fight, and I follow you from the pandemic times. And yeah, well, it's a pleasure to see your picture.
Yeah, awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, very cool. Actually, thank you, Tamara, for that. And I don't even know how to pronounce that. Gaetano with a $2 super chat says, "Get Oscar Blue or Yol and Mari with Rudy podcast." I don't know who either of those are. I'm gonna have to look them up. But yeah, if I can get in touch with other people, I'd love to bring more voices on. They're recommending to have you back, Rudy, and have these guys on as well. Daifeichu with a $10 super chat says, "Sounds like you guys need a Battle of Athens. Took place in 1946 in Athens, Tennessee, but they had guns." I don't know about the Battle of Athens. I'm not sure what happened at the Battle of Athens, but I do know that yes, there is a Second Amendment in the United States, and this is indicative of these regimes, though. Like socialist regimes, as they take over, one of the first things that they do is they say, "You don't need to have guns. You don't. We're bringing about a peaceful society. You should have your firearms and any way of legitimately defending yourself taken away from you because that's not what we need to do." And then when the economy fails because of it and the government comes in and with their draconian methods takes everything from you, you have no way to defend yourself. And then when you try to fight for democracy again, you've got no way to instill democracy. So this is the situation that the citizenry of Venezuela is in the situation of. You just said it earlier. They don't have a way to fight back. They don't have a way to fight back. And this is why the Second Amendment is so very important. and we should be reversing our decisions that we've made in Canada, going towards disarming the populace here in Canada. Eat Me with $5 super chat says El Carpaccio in Juan Griego on Margarita.
Yeah. El Carpaccio in Juan Griego on Margarita Island. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was the best place to eat back in 1994. Okay.
Wow.
That sounds great.
Yeah. That's true. Very popular place.
Fair enough. Yeah. I've never had Venezuelan food. I don't know. Is there a particular flavor that Venezuela does?
Definitely.
Oh, okay.
Definitely. You have to try, go for arepas.
What's that?
Yeah. So arepa is like, it's made with corn flour. You make a dough and then you just kind of like make a bun with that. But you don't have to put it in the oven. You just put it over the pan for a few minutes, and you flip it until it's well done. Easy to make. It only takes like, 10 minutes. And then you fill it with whatever you want. You can fill it with pulled pork, beef, chicken, avocados, and eggs. I don't know. You have to be creative. But that's something that we eat like every day. I just had arepas before coming here. So,
well, next time I'm in your neighborhood, I'm coming over for that.
Oh, for sure, man. I will be happy to take you to a place or to bring you home, and my wife and I, we're gonna be happy to cook for you, man.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Sure. Well, I'll take you up on that. That's gonna happen. Because I love cornbread. It's like one of my favorite things to eat in the world. So yeah, I'm down. If I'm in your neighborhood, I'm coming over.
Yeah, it's not a bread, but you have to see it. It's very popular.
You say bun and corn flour.
I know. I just trying to give you an image of how it looks. But yeah, it's very good. It's tasty. It's not expensive to make, to be honest. We since we are born in Venezuela, it's like almost your mom give you an arepa when you have only like one day of being born. Like. I'm just kidding. That's too much for a baby. But yeah, it's like we are raised. No, yeah, like since we are kids, we're raised with that. It's intrinsic in our culture. So, but yeah. Oh, don't let Colombians to say that arepa belongs to them. It's not true.
There's a contention there.
There is yeah.
Oh, that's too funny.
100%. No. To be honest, we share that culture between the two countries. But Venezuela popularized the dish. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That's amazing. I'm really stoked on that. Drew Coover with 56 with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, by the way, Drew. Says, keep up the great work. Love the video this evening with the 3 stages dancing tonight. Yeah, appreciate it. That was the one video I put out that I was thinking of Alex when I was making it. Alex, I was actually thinking of you. I was like, I can't wait to see what his reaction is. Because I was laughing so hard while I was making it. It's just one of those. I know you're just giggling every time you're making your videos. That's just how you edit.
Yeah, it's for an audience of one.
It's just you gotta have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, then what are you doing? You just gotta have that sort of attitude. Peter Witten with a $2 super chat says, you guys are awesome. Always love delicious ideas. And man, I'm a foodie. So hearing about this recipe from Rudy, my stomach's gurgling already. I'm getting hungry again. I've already had my dinner, but it's I'm Rudy, be prepared. I'm gonna take you up on that one.
We're gonna make it happen. No, it's okay. I got you.
Awesome. So I'm going to close out the stream now. You guys stick around, stay on the line. But everybody, thanks for coming out. A big showing this evening. Wow, I'm really impressed with how many people came out to the live stream. Smashed through it this week. We had an excellent first going with the Clyde and Marty show, Marty and Clyde show, however you want to put it. But the live version. So we normally record them every Wednesday and then we publish them on Thursday. We decided to do the recording live. We just recorded it live and then we added a little bit of a Q&A session for the people that were live in there, and then took the video down and put the portion, the usual conversation portion on Thursday. Now, for people who are members of the channel, that Q&A session is still available. So go check that out on the channel page. If you're a member of the channel, we're going to do this moving forward. The added little extra bits on Wednesdays with Marty and Clyde. The extra bits will be there available for members of the channel. We'll be taking that down. But if you don't have to be a member to come in and watch it live, though. So if you don't have the budget to be a member, come in every Wednesday, watch it live as it's happening. It's available for you. Just wanted to give that little bit of a perk for people who are, spending money on the channel. I really appreciate it. It's a lot. It means a lot to me. It really helps out a ton to get all of this going. And there you go. Diane Sylvain, member for 9 months. Thank you so much for that. Hi, guys. Bonsoir et buena suerte. Missed the live.
Good Spanish. Yeah.
Missed part of chat. Love and prayers. Thank you so much. So I want a big thanks. Make sure if you're in the chat right now, check out RuddyCast. It's in Spanish, but YouTube's great because they can do the auto generating translations for you. You can watch the text, listen to that beautiful Spanish accent as he's doing it. But yeah, read the stuff, because we need to know more about this big fight that's happening down south in the other America that is actually the big bastion light of freedom in the world right now. As the West is pushing towards great resets and all these other things, there is a big movement of liberty happening in South America. Venezuela, the people of Venezuela are taking part in this. The people in Argentina are taking part in this. There is a lot happening in South America, and we can't let the language barrier get in our way. This is something we need to be paying attention to.
We should do an election live stream when the election happens. Bring Rudy back and do a Venezuelan election live stream.
I'm down. Yeah, Rudy, would you be down for that?
Idea.
Yeah, definitely. That's gonna be the first time that I'm gonna vote. So you kind of make a guess. You can make a guess for who I'm gonna vote. So yeah.
Maduro, right? Of course not. Of course not. Oh, that's great. That's a great idea. I think we should do that. And I can't stress this enough. We in the English speaking world need to be paying attention to what's happening in the Latin world in South America. If we don't pay attention, we're missing the boat. We need to get on it, and I'm going to be covering it. And obviously, Rudy's going to be covering it. So go get over there and subscribe to the channel. The link is in the chat there. If you missed the link in the chat, the link is in the description down below. And also a link for Alex's X profile. Get over there and watch all the stuff that parliamentarians get up to, and in the best framing possible. That's I can see the best way I think I can is pitch that. But as for that, this is the stream for this week. I hope to see all of you guys Monday morning. This would be great, and as always, keep on trucking.